We've got breaking news coming in that Hurriyat leader Bilal Lone has been detained at the Delhi airport. Remember, Shabbir Shah was detained this morning. Now Bilal Lone being detained. Gaurav Sawant has more information. Gaurav, go ahead.
Bilal Lone, as soon as he landed, he was taken in a army car, in a police car, and taken to his rented accommodation in Delhi. This is a safe house in Delhi, where in a Delhi police vehicle he was taken, and he will be there detained till the time Sartaj Aziz, should he come to India, till the time he goes back to Pakistan. So all the Hurriyat leaders who come to Delhi will be detained, and they are being told that in as many words. As soon as they land in Delhi, they will be detained and taken to a safe house or their rented accommodation wherever they are, and they will be placed under what is being termed as a house arrest. It's not an arrest, they're just being taken to their homes and kept there till the time Sartaj Aziz is here.
Okay, I want to go across now to Smita Sharma. She covers foreign affairs for us. With her is India Today magazine's editorial director Raj Chingappa. Smita, Raj was at that press conference and you were there as well. I want your sense on what happens next. Our reporter in Islamabad saying that it's highly likely in a while from now we'll hear from Pakistan that these talks have been called off.
Yes, that's what we are learning too. At least I am learning too, Rahul, because in the last 24 hours I've spoken to a Pakistan government top source. He said that clearly for Pakistan to be seen as compromising or diluting its principal position on Jammu and Kashmir will be absolutely lethal for any government. We spoke to a top Pakistani diplomat yesterday. He said that I think both countries need time to reflect the terms of re-engagement. But let me get in Raj here in this discussion. Raj, you've been hearing, of course, the discussion there in the studio. As Rahul was posing now, is this about India losing an opportunity to corner Pakistan with evidence that they have? Or there is a bigger question now as to how can India and Pakistan really re-engage going forward? Sushma Swaraj says we will only meet in New Delhi and Islamabad, but every time somebody comes to New Delhi now, there will be that Hurriyat question again, which is a new red line for Delhi.
Now, I was listening to my Pakistan friend Shaukat, and I quite agree with him. This is a missed opportunity. After all, we initiated the UFA spirit. It's a setback. We had laid the terms much earlier. All right, Pakistan violated, but there should have been back-channel talks to ensure that it doesn't get to this messy situation. Finally, today we had some clarity, both from Sartaj Aziz Saab in Islamabad and our Foreign Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj. Both made very convincing arguments for it. But the fact is that as it stands today, there is no win-win for it. We have gone back to our old positions, which is essentially terror first for us. You can't have talks at all unless you deal with the terror issue. They've gone back to their core issue, which is Kashmir. Right. Somewhere we should have had a meeting ground on these matters. After all, Sartaj Aziz Saab was saying, let's have a sequencing. The whole battle is about sequencing. We said, first you talk terror, because you can't hold a gun to our heads and have a dialogue. So let's cool the border. And let's you give us some assurances on Mumbai 2611, getting all these chaps on book. Fair, very fair kind of proposition. He comes back and says, yes, I'm willing to talk about terror, but I need to know a little bit more about how you plan to get me into my core issue, which is Kashmir. So I think he had signaled that. Right. And then he almost signaled that it doesn't matter if the Hurriyat leaders, he didn't make a big deal about it. So if there was a wire media arrangement where we could have worked backwards, and there's still time.
You think there was lack of groundwork, really?
Well, not lack of, I think there should have been in a major meeting like this. After all, we invested in UFA, right. All right? Modi Saab had changed the direction. From what had happened last year, there was a new movement that happened. UFA Spirit was a limited agreement, but was a culmination of that process. It was important for India that we move forward. Important also because, we can't get stuck with this issue all the time.
Right.
We had to make our point. We wanted terror back on the agenda. We wanted some assurance. If Pakistan had made that leeway, I think both sides are losing on this.
One final question before I toss back to Rahul. Do you think India, and on the one hand, while it was Narendra Modi who initiated the UFA talks, but given the fact that India has now decided, regardless of the NDA government having met with the Hurriyat, the Hurriyat being called the third party, while the Hurriyat says, look, under Simla agreement is the US and the EU which are third parties. We are not third parties, we are principal parties. Is this a gamble that the Narendra Modi government has now played, because they will also have the American pressure to answer to?
No, you see, in terms of Kashmir, our stand is very clear. Hurriyat is just one of the players. We don't want to make... India is a confident country now. It has a GDP growth that is, very impressive. We have shown that in the Northeast we can handle our problems. We have shown with Bangladesh we can do it. We are not running away, as Sushma Swaraj said, from the Kashmir issue. What we're looking for is, look, we can't be doing all this with all this firing going on the border. What sense does it make if people are dying? So I think that is a reasonable stand. I think what they should have done this time is, all right, let's talk terror, but give us something that, look, at the end of it, we can exchange. Let's not, we can do this dossier war up and down, right? But that's like little boys playing.
How much of a role is the fact that, that India has actually gone ahead, with the Arab countries? We saw Narendra Modi's UAE visit, that situation with the Iran talks and between America, the regional equations are also changing. And perhaps, the Pakistan government is not contributing as much to the West as they were, say, 5, 6, 7 years ago or a decade. So are these regional equations also something that is allowing the Indian government to take risks here?
Well, one, I think he did a smart move by going out there. Second, let's look at what's happened on both the sides. That is why you see a sort of impasse that has happened, a stalemate. I don't know whether talks are finally called off, but let's see what happens on that front. Does look bleak at the moment. But if you look back home in Pakistan, when he comes back from the UFA spirit and everything else, he gets bludgeoned virtually because he left out the Kashmir part. Although it is there in a different way, but they didn't specifically mention it. So he's on the back foot on this matter. Once Modi ka Saab comes back and then these chaps make some contact with the Hurriyat, we are back to the old Hurriyat game.
Right.
So everyone tightens their stand on this matter. So I think there they got a bit lost on this. Then let's not forget, back home, there have been two major incidents that have happened in Pakistan that have actually put the relationship that had actually straightened out between the army and Nawaz Sharif, the Prime Minister, in Pakistan, and it looked like they were both on board. There's been a deterioration of relationships over there, and the Afghan question. Two major factors that started affecting the stocks.
So a lot of things here, and Rahul, a lot of people saying that while India has gambled, what is also being compared is that Nawaz Sharif in UFA, this was actually his Sharm el-Sheikh moment that Manmohan Singh had. Manmohan Singh had to face this kind of a situation with the inclusion of Balochistan. Nawaz Sharif has had to face the situation with the exclusion of Kashmir in the UFA state.
Raj Chingappa, Smita Sharma, thank you very much to you. In just a while, I want to introduce now Jyoti Malhotra. Tracks India and Pakistan very closely. Do you think the BJP government has a plan out? So we've sent a strong message. That's a good thing. But do we have a plan out of where we are back to now?
I think that's unfortunate that the BJP government has brought the Hurriyat, and actually they've given the Hurriyat the importance that it doesn't deserve. The Hurriyat is a bit player. They are completely marginalized. And the fact that the BJP government is actually giving the Hurriyat the kind of importance that it doesn't deserve by saying that Sartaj Aziz cannot meet the Hurriyat. And now you see this very sort of sorry spectacle of Bilal Lone flying into Delhi. He's being arrested, or he's going to be put under house arrest. In the morning you had Shabbir Shah. Tomorrow Mirwais Farooq will come to Delhi. I mean, here there are going to be these Hurriyat leaders sort of, dotted across across Delhi, the Indian capital, under house arrest. And how ridiculous is that? I think Prime Minister Narendra Modi made a very good step at UFA. They had a very good meeting. They had a joint statement that went according to the Indian plan. There was no mention of Kashmir at all. And this is a question that I keep asking my Pakistani journalist friends. How come the Pakistan Prime Minister, the Pakistan Foreign Minister, National Security Advisor, Sartaj Aziz, who's now hopefully coming to Delhi in a few hours, how come they did not have Kashmir, the name Kashmir, the word Kashmir? You have that phrase, that all-encompassing phrase which says all outstanding issues.
That's right. That's been called Nawaz Sharif's Sharm el-Sheikh moment.